Hello everyone, and welcome to Strong Dragon Training, the flame of fitness. My name is Dragos, and I'm back today to take you guys through a arm and tricep workout with the bands. Before we go any further, I'm going to remind you again that at the bottom of this video, I have the link for the short version of the video. In that one, I just go through the exercises so you guys have an idea of which exercise is which and how I want to spread them out from the point of view of halves or partials, holds, and things like that. You get the idea and you're out the door doing your own workout. In this video, I'm going to take a little bit of time and explain to you guys how to do the exercises correctly, where I need you to hold, how I need you to breathe, and all those little details. Also, below that link, I'm going to post in the exact workout that I want you to do. So if you just want to quickly read through it and then go and do it yourself, you have that option as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into those biceps and triceps and see how we can get some amazingly toned arm through the band workout. Alright, so the very first superset that we're going to dive into today, we're going to hit the biceps. We're going to do the double arm bicep curl and the half shoulder press, as I like to call them. Now, because of the angle and the range of motion we're going to do on the shoulder presses, we are going to target the biceps a little bit more than the actual deltoid muscle. And I'll show you exactly what I mean about that. Before that, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea, because in my previous video, when we targeted the chest and a little bit of the back, I've mentioned Northern Lights as being one of my preferred companies for doing rubber bands. So this is what I have over here based on the different tensions. So as I mentioned throughout this video, it is up to you what tension you use on your bands, what your level is, how strong you are, how much you are able to resist from the point of view of how the muscles lactic acid gets built up. So based on that, you pick whichever band is best for you. Here I have the blue one, which is the hardest possible band. Generally, this one I reserve only for legs. It's kind of difficult to do upper body with this one. Green is a little bit lower than the blue one. Purple is what I like to call my middle band. It's kind of the jack of all trades. And then is the yellow one, which currently it's my lightest band. Now, by no means I'm saying that this is the entire range or row of bands that Northern Lights has, but these ones are the ones that I have readily available right now, and I tend to go through them based on what my workout is. So for today, we're going to stick with the yellow band, and what I caution you guys as well is not necessarily to dive into the tighter bands, especially if you're in the beginner stages. Because of the styles of the exercise that we're going to do. Remember, the styles that we're focusing on in this series of workout are halves or partials. So it's very important for you to be able to do the exercise correctly and the partials correctly to get the maximum benefit out of these workouts. So sometimes a lighter weight goes a lot longer than a heavier weight. So you gotta be careful how you pick and choose those weights. So the very first exercise, like I said, is going to be the double bicep curl. So what's going to happen on this one is we're going to do, it's 3 sets in total, and we're going to have 10 repetitions, okay, of regular full range of motion, medium pace. After those 10, we're going to take another 10 right away and do just upper halves, nice and slow, or upper partials, okay? So here's what I need you to do from this one. You're gonna have either both your feet can go on the band, approximately shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit narrower, so that you can have your arms, or your hands rather, grab onto the band and be as if you're grabbing onto a regular bar in your gym. And from here, you'll be able to curl up. Now, if you find this to be too tight, you're going to put just one foot in the middle and then curl up this way. If it's too light, you can always widen up your stance a little bit and then grab a hold and put it up. Again, whatever level you're at, but just be careful in these workouts. The repetitions is what I'm looking for and the style, okay? Not the weight. So if it's a little bit lighter and at the end of the workout, maybe you can do 2 or 3 more extra, or rather at the end of the round, you can do 2 or 3 more repetitions, then you've got the right weight. If you're stopping maybe 4 or 5 before the amount of repetitions that I recommended, then you're in trouble. Your band is too tight, get a lighter band. So what I mean about this one is, we're going to start first, grab a hold of the band, so just so you can see me on the side, my back is always going to be straight on this one. The knees are just unlocked, you don't have to lock them out, but straight. And from here, all you're doing is you're curling just like with a regular barbell curl in the gym, all right? Keep your wrists nice and tight, don't let them go down like this, you're risking injury of the wrist. Keep them tight and straight, and just go up and down, just like the regular barbell curl. So for the first 10, we're going to do regular medium pace. full range of motion, all right? Once we get to number 10, we're at the top over here. We're going to do upper halves or upper partials. That means that from the full contracted point, you're going to go down halfway and up back. Down halfway and back up. So notice how I'm going on this one much slower. Take note again. 1, 2, 3, right? Medium pace, but on the halves, I'm going slower. Slower, all right? So that whole idea is in the full range of motion, you really drilled at that bicep, but it's not necessarily dead yet. It's just tired. It's getting tired, getting to that point of, you know what, maybe I'm going to stop in a couple of repetitions. But that's when you throw the curveball and you say, no, I'm going to do 10 more on the upper halves and I'm going to do them slow now. So at this point, the bicep never fully stretches anymore, right? You keep it in that contracted position the entire time, so you get that lactic acid buildup in your muscle much, much faster. So at this pace, those slow, those upper half slow, are going to just kill and tear through your bicep. It's going to really hurt, and at the end of the 20 repetitions in total that you're going to do, your bicep should be like, whew, thank God it's over, you know? So after you finish those ones, you're not going to take any kind of break, minus if you need to shake them off a little bit and get blood into them back again. You're going to put the arms up again to this point. Now, what I mean about those half shoulder presses is you're literally going to go halfway up, halfway up. Now, because of the anatomy of how the bicep attaches into the shoulder, one of the heads of the bicep attaches into the shoulder going over, by just going up this way, yes, you are engaging your anterior deltoid. Yes, your shoulders are going to work a little bit, but from this point of view and your bicep being tired from the previous exercise, you're going to have a little bit more bicep activation than the actual deltoid. So the bicep is going to struggle more. Hence why I put this exercise as the second one. So from here, keep the elbows nice and tight. If you guys want to see me from the side over here, back is straight, legs are still just under shoulder width apart, but straight, not locked out at the knee, and you're going up halfway or forming 90 degrees at the elbow. Back down for a full one. Up and down, up and down. And this is a rep out. This is 25 repetitions, just going boom, boom, boom at a nice medium pace. So these are just your two exercises going to target those biceps in the first superset. First one, 10 repetitions of the full range of motion and then 10 slow on the upper halves, and the second one is 25 repetitions. You take your 20 to 30 second break at the end and repeat that for 3 sets. Alright, so the second superset, we're still on the biceps topic. We're still going to torture and terrorize your biceps, but now we're going to do single arm, and we're going to angle our arms out and in order to target a little bit more on the inner head of the bicep and a little bit more on the outer head of the bicep. Now remember that based on how the bicep is attached and inserts from the tendon's point of view, you can't really isolate 100% just the outer head of the bicep, 100% just the inner head of the biceps. They will always work together. However, you can put a little bit more emphasis, a little bit more flex on one of the heads rather than on the other. So here's what's going to happen with that one. We're going to need a pole like this to tie up your band. Okay, so you're going to tie it up at the bottom. That's going to do the bicep curls. So if you're going to target the inner head of the biceps, you're going to stay a little bit closer to the band and have it pointed diagonally towards the body. So from here, I'm going to extend the arm out enough to have a little bit of tension on it and curl across the body. Curl across the body, okay? Now be very careful on this one because you don't want to end up doing this with the arm, because at that point you're getting too much pectoral, too much deltoid, and the bicep is just there wrong for the ride. You want to isolate the bicep as much as possible, okay? So what you're looking for is to keep that elbow next to the body and curl the arm in as far as it goes. Then you extend and you come on in. For the outer portion of the ones, you're going to need to essentially go into the other side of the bar. So here you're going to have it maybe a little bit forward for my tension over here, and the arm from this position being your neutral, your anatomical position, you're going to go either with the arm out a little bit from the shoulder or inwards. That's the whole bottom line of these ones. So when you're going outwards to hit the outer head just a little bit more, you're going to do the exact same thing, being careful not to lift the arm out as you curl, because again, then you're going to get too much deltoid into it and you're just going to ruin the entire exercise. Now, the style that I need you guys to follow on this one. You're going to go back and forth on these ones and play with the styles, and that's why we have 4 sets to go here. So probably this superset is going to take you the longest. Here's why. On the inner halves, or on the inner side rather, on the first superset, you're going to go and do 1, 2, 3, 1, boom, 2, 2, 3, half, 3, 2, 3, half. So see what I'm doing over there. I'm doing first the full range of motion. At the top, in full squeeze position, I'm going to hold for 1, 2, 3 seconds, and I'm going to do an upper half and then extend it out to redo that again. So you do 12 on one arm, 12 on the other arm. If you need to switch, or either in this case, you'll just turn around and do the other arm, right? Now on the outside, or on the outer head of the bicep, when you're targeting down a little bit more, you're going to go outside a little bit, and you're going to do the exact opposite of that. So you're going to come in and do half, 1, 2, 3, half, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to do the lower half first, and then come up all the way. 1, 2, 3, squeeze as much as you can at the top over there. Not only does the bicep have to work to pull the band and hold it up there in position, but you at the same time are going to flex and squeeze that arm as close as you can to the body to get the bicep to work that much harder. So for the first superset, you're going to do, for the inside, full and upper half. For the outside, lower half and full. Set number 2, you're going to trade that option. You're going to do 1 lower half for the inside and then full 1, 2, 3. Then you're gonna go to the outside and do the full 1, 2, 3, and then the upper half. So catch what I'm trying to do over there? I'm just trying to go back and forth and get both styles of hitting the biceps a fair share of the overall idea that I'm trying to put onto them. Not only will I only target the biceps from every point of view essentially twice, but you're getting them a fair share in even development for the entire workout. So just remember, what you do on one side, you've got to do on the other side. And what I suggest is you do the inner half on one, inner on the other one, then you go to the outer half rather of the bicep, do the exercise on the left arm, then the right arm, then go to your round number 2, okay? So in between, when you angle your arm differently, there's no rest in between those, so try to push your biceps as much as possible. When you're done both, you're going to take a 20-second break and then go for set number 2, but be mindful where your halves or partials are. Set number 2. All right, so superset number 3, we're going to switch gears now over to the triceps, all right? And we're going to try always, when you're working with a push and pull muscle, you try to keep it as even as possible and pick exercises that kind of complement the ones that you've done in the for the opposite muscle. So for the triceps, we're going to start with the third superset is going to have the tricep push down. So we're going to mimic the cables at the gym by tying the band nice and high up on your pole, and you're going to step back just a little bit. I generally recommend having feet together for this one, slightly bent at the knees so that your back from straight is going to go ever so slightly forward, back straight, core engaged. Elbows have to stay right next to your body, right? The whole idea of doing this, we're not doing that over here. That's a whole different ball game. We're not going to touch it in this workout. So elbows next to you, and you're going to go full all the way down, back up for a stretch. Full contraction and stretch. So the way we're going to split this one is how we split the biceps in the very first superset. So we're going to do again 3 sets of this one, 10 repetitions with a medium pace right over here, and then we're going to do another 10, but in the lower halves or the lower partials, slow. So let's get the idea over here. So the first 10 are going to be like so, breathing out every time you go down. Once you get to 10, you're going to come nice and slow, half, back down, half, back down, half, and back down, okay? So we're going to employ exactly the same idea like we did for the biceps, where we're going to hit the muscle specifically for the first 10 repetitions. We get to that point where we're kind of tired, there's a little bit of lactic acid buildup, but we could still keep going for a little bit. And then you throw added the curveball or doing the halves and slow. So that's going to really start targeting and hitting those fibers really hard, and by the end of it, they should be burning, okay? That's what you're looking for. You finish that round. The second exercise, you're going to shake them off a little bit. Now, depending on how and where you are and how long your band is, I need you specifically your hands to be with an underhand grip. Notice that on the first one, we grab on the side, or if you wish, the first one you can grab like this. But the second one has to be underhand grip, okay? So either you grab higher and then you keep your hands twisted the entire exercise, or you just get a little bit of distance and grab at the bottom, all right? For this one, is going to be from the starting point of the tension, partial up. Partial up. You don't go for a full stretch on this one. I don't want you to go on a full stretch. You're just going to feel the point where there's a little bit of tension, and from there, halfway down, halfway down, halfway down, right? Just like with the biceps when you did those partial shoulder presses, in this one, you're going to do the partial underhand extensions, and you're just going to kind of nitpick at the tricep. Boom, 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 a little bit more. It's tighter from the first one. Now you're just gonna saturate the muscle with the second round. So there's no rest in between the first two, yeah. But once you're done the exercises, you're going to take a 20 to 30 second break and repeat that for 3 sets. Alright, so the first and final superset is going to be just a single tricep workout. And why it's going to be a standalone exercise is because of the way that we're going to target those halves and fulls. So here's what's going to happen on this one. It's one of the easier exercises to do for your triceps without any kind of cables, poles, or whatnot. But it's probably one of the ones that people are most afraid of. They're going to snap the band. Because what I'm going to ask you to do on this one, you're going to step on the band, and then you're going to grab it and bring it all the way up overhead. Now don't worry, as I mentioned in my previous videos, the bands are very good quality. If you bought them from a good supplier, they're not going to snap. They're made for this and they will stretch no problem. Feet are going to be shorter, about half of your shoulder width apart, slightly bent at the knees, and this is where you're going to have your hands just a little bit separated apart, okay? So from the side is the best way to view me on this one. We're gonna have them overhead, bring them down with the elbows, try to fight them to stay as close together as possible. If they go out like this and you do the exercise like so, you're not accomplishing much. Yes, you're working the triceps, but you're all over the place. I need you to be in one position, aka triceps together, or rather elbows as close as you can together. From here, half, full, half, full. We're going to do 15 repetitions of those at that exact pace. So one lower half, one full. One lower half, one full. So it's going to be quite difficult. Your elbows will fight to push out, fight them back at the same time to push in. Now, once you've done those 15s, I need you to start from the top and just go upper half, upper half, upper half for another 15 repetitions. If you absolutely need to, you can break in between the lower half and full, give them a chance to breathe, and then go back into the exercise and do the upper halves. But ideally, I want you to try to do them all without any kind of stopping. So do your lower half with full, 15 repetitions, and then your upper halves, rep them out. Both the styles are at medium pace, so you don't have to go crazy slow to make the pain even higher, but don't go fast either. Keep it nice and medium pace. This one you're going to do for 4 rounds around to complement the outer and inner bicep curls that we've done in the second superset. So there you have it, guys. A nice bicep and tricep workout to really sculpt those arms, get the toning going, and build that endurance of your biceps and tris. Just remember, please, the most important part of this workout, or this whole series of workouts, is the partials and where you get to hold the repetition. So tightness of the band and weight are secondary for importance. The repetitions, the sets, and the halves that I've given you in the workout, those ones have to be respected, number one. If you find that you can't do the repetitions as to how many I've given you, the band is too tight. If you can do way more than what I've given you, the band is too light. I don't want you to go either too over or too under. If you stop too before the amount of repetitions I've given you, you're okay, you can keep that band. If you can go maybe too over, then again, you're okay with that band. But when you're at the point that you're 5 or 7 repetitions below what I've given you, or you're going to 10, 12 repetitions more than what I've given you, you need to get a different band, either lighter or heavier, depending on where you are in the spectrum. So I hope this workout makes sense to you guys. I hope it's a little bit of a guidance to do something while you're at home, and even when the gyms start opening up again, you can take the same idea and put it into the other dumbbells and the bars. But until then, I'll fill you guys up with some more workouts that you can use with actual gym equipment. For now, I hope this gets you going while you're in your house to get everything moving, the arms pumped, and blood flowing through those veins. My name is Dragos from Strong Dragon Training, the Flame of Fitness. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share with everybody that you know could benefit from this one so that you can help them out as well during this lockdown. I'll catch you guys on my next video.